Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror season. I don't even know what season this is. It's the 37th season of The Simpsons. Okay. And so this is the new Treehouse of Horror, and it's really funny because when I was doing the commentary for Bikini Jones and the Temple of Eros, which is now out on the channel if you want to check it out, it is an XXX commentary, just forewarning. But I actually mentioned that I wanted to talk about The Simpsons, and I was in a Simpsons mood. And then what do you know? They had a new Treehouse of Horror yesterday, and I didn't even realize that at all. So, yeah. I will say that, last year the one with the... No, wait a second. Did I watch the last year's one? I can't remember. I think I did. Oh, wait, there were two. Oh. I don't even know if I watched last year. I watched the first one from last year, the one with the stupid Venom parody that was called Denim. But I don't know if I watched the second one. Wow, I'll have to watch that. But so I'm sorry about that, guys. But anyways, I don't know if this year's Treehouse of Horror was bad. I mean, I definitely have seen a lot worse. I never once throughout the episode was like, oh, well, this is just, The Simpsons has really gone downhill. They've really gone off the rails. I never felt like that. But at the same time, it's really funny because after I watched all the Treehouse of Horrors last year, or hopefully, it really felt to me like one of the biggest issues is that, especially in all the later ones, in all of like the modern Treehouse of Horrors, each segment is very, very rushed. And that was very much the case for all three of these stories. All three of them, these things just start, and then they immediately stop. And it's really weird because in the old, like the oldest Treehouse of Horrors, they had the same time to tell the stories as these new ones. So it's weird because I never used to notice that with the older ones. Like the older ones, they felt like all of them had beginnings, middles, and ends, to the point of where you could just watch one of them and be satisfied, like a Nightmare Cafeteria, or I'm trying to think of specific titles, or The Shining. Like you could watch individual stories. Whereas nowadays, this Treehouse of Horror very much felt like three bite-sized, tiny, tiny stories that really... And look, I'm not trying to really, criticize it too much because I still kind of enjoyed this episode. Especially, it was so much better than I thought it would be. The first story was called The Last Days of Crisco, and it was a parody of Jaws and The Blob. And I was really, I liked how Carl was the main character of the story, but I didn't really feel like I got very much out of that. I felt like it was kind of a missed opportunity. I haven't really ever seen any episodes with him as the main character, so I really felt like it was a big missed opportunity to actually give him some good character. It's basically just Jaws, but with like a carnival and there's a monster in the drains and the sewer who is made out of fat and lard and grease. He's a grease monster. He's a grease blob. And there were some things I really liked, though. The main thing that was my favorite part was at the very end when Mo, who he got killed, he got eaten by the blob, and his body got split in half. And at the end of the story, he is still alive, and he is piecing himself together, and he's keeping himself together, and it's just really, really funny. So I like that one. I give that one like a C+, and I'm being kind of generous because, again, it felt very rushed. All three of them felt very rushed. The second one was probably the best one. And it was called Clown Night with the Devil, which is a parody of Late Night with the Devil. And the main thing that I liked about this one, I thought it was an okay story. It was a simple story. The plot structure was a little weird just because, like, I think they were trying to pull some, like, red herrings. They were trying to, throw you off as to, how this could have happened. But, I really feel like it had a weird plot structure in terms of, like, how things played out. And, but the main thing that I liked was that they made this story look like old 1990s Simpsons episodes. And it looked exactly like them. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was really, really fun. It's also kind of just, it's an aesthetic thing. And, the story was fun. There's a part where they have all these children's program characters come back to life, like Mrs. Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. I thought that was great. I thought that was funny. And then they did have a little like twist ending involving streaming services. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I thought this one was okay. I give it a B. I give it a straight B. I thought it was actually pretty good. I saw the idea that they had. I thought it was creative. I thought it was, it could have been a little bit better executed because I just feel like in some of these, in fact, in all three of these, no, the first two, sorry. In the first two of these stories, the Simpsons themselves, they almost feel like glorified cameos. And I don't like that. It's fine if you do it for one, but I don't know. In the second one, it really felt like these are like cameos. And so I didn't like that. And then the last one is called Plastic World. I guess it's supposed to be like Water World and Furiosa. I have no idea. Like, I have not seen either of those movies. And I don't like The Simpsons parodying like a post-apocalyptic movie in the Treehouse of Horror. I think that's stupid. I think that's kind of like, it's not the place. It's like if I went into a church and I went up on or behind the whatever you call it, the pedestal, and I got on the microphone and I said, "Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco dish out on movies." They'd be like, "What the hell?" And then they'd all walk out. That's like what this is. I was very turned off by this story at first, but it kind of grew on me. It mostly takes place inside this little convenience store, and that was kind of fun. Because I think, and I said this yesterday, I think that there are certain horror movie locations that are very, very underrated. And one of them would be the fair. And so this episode checked off that box. And then another one would be stores or malls. And so this also checked off that box too. So I like that. I don't know. There was just nothing there. Like there was nothing. I guess at the very end, they have this really weird ending where there's an entire world of Maggies and Maggie can actually talk. And that was really weird. That just... But see, that kind of reminded me of like old school Simpsons. Because that was so weird that it was kind of like, oh yeah, I could see them doing this. But overall, like, I don't like these episodes where they do a parody of like a non-horror story or movie. So I would give this story a C, and I would round about the grade of this episode to be like a C plus. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was just okay. And at this point, they've done so much for the fans. They've done such an amazing job with their show throughout the years, but it really feels like they need to end. And that's coming from me. Especially from the episode, like this episode, it just kind of feels like, yeah, they could keep going and going and going and going, but it really just kind of feels like the people making it are stretching. They're stretching and they're struggling, and they shouldn't have to. I mean, I can see, though, if they ended The Simpsons, where are people going to go from there? I don't know. It's kind of depressing to think about, but, I mean, it would also be depressing if they were making The Simpsons and then, oh, well, the guy who plays Homer died. Like, that would be depressing too. So no matter what, The Simpsons is going to be in for a depressing ending. And I know that was such a weird thing to bring up in this video, but they even talked about it at the beginning of the episode. They had they had like this thing where on the TV it said like a 90-year-old show, and then on the outside they had the creator, and he was, I don't know, it was really weird, but it was like a meta like commentary on the fact that they're still going. But at the same time though, I mean, I feel like The Simpsons is a show that could go on forever. It's just one of those types of shows, I think the big issue, though, is just finding that spark again. And, it's hard to keep on finding a spark when you're using the same idea that you've used since the 90s. I mean, I made a short film. It's coming out on Halloween. And I do plan on making a movie adaptation and also a sequel to that or two. But, like, I wouldn't plan on, like, making that movie for the rest of my life. Like, I wouldn't just, like, keep on making, like, County Fear over and over and over again. And so I think in the same vein, like, I don't know, it's depressing to think about. But, yeah. So I enjoyed watching this Treehouse of Horror, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad that I thought about randomly. I was like, oh yeah, The Simpsons. So anyways, please like this video and comment and tell me what you thought of these these stories. Sorry, stop calling them episodes. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest reviews. And also, we have a Patreon, and the link is in the description. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.